Dear students, in this video we'll be talking about a very important part of the plant, that is roots. Obviously, as we know, the roots helps in anchoring of the plant in the soil, and it also helps in absorption of minerals and water from the soil, which are obviously used for the process of photosynthesis by the plant. And before we start studying the different modifications of tap roots and adventitious roots, we should know the structure of the root in bit detail. So here in this video we'll be talking about the structure of the root. So a root can simply be divided into 5 zones, about which we'll be discussing over here. So these zones are the zones or regions where different type of activities are carried out by some specialized cells of the roots. So first of all, we have this lowermost zone, obviously, which is known as a root cap zone, or it is not simply known as a root cap. So it is the region where some specialized cells are present which protects this tender or delicate portion of the root from the mechanical injuries of the soil, where the roots will penetrate deep in search of water and minerals. So these are some specialized cells, and when the root keep on growing, these outer cells keeps on withering and new cells are continuously added in the inner region, and root keep on growing with a root cap at every tip of the root. Inside this portion we have some special type of cells which are not called as meristematic cells, and this zone is called zone of or region of meristematic cells. We may call it as a region of meristematic cells. The meristematic cells, they are some specialized cells which continuously keep on dividing, and meristematic cells are thin walled and they have dense cytoplasm present within them. We shall be talking about these meristematic cells and meristematic tissues in next chapter, that is chapter number 6. Here these meristematic cells continuously keep on dividing, and they help in the very vigorous or simply the growth of the roots. Here above this region of meristematic cells is present the region of elongation. Or we can call it the zone of elongation. Here what happens, these meristematic cells which have been formed by the continuous division, these cells elongates and they matures, which obviously helps in the elongation of this root. And when we talk about the 4th region, this is known as the root hair zone. In this region are present some outgrowths which are known as root hairs, and obviously this is the main region where the absorption of water and minerals takes place. So there are fine hair-like structures present in this region, and this region is known as a root hair zone or region of root hair. Obviously these root hairs are formed from they are the outgrowth of some epidermal cells, and they elongate. They are generally unicellular, and they enormously help the roots to absorb water specifically and minerals too. And the 5th and the last region of this root is zone of differentiation or region of differentiation or region of zone of maturation, we can call it zone of maturation. In this zone or in this region which is present above the root hair zone, the cells which had been obviously formed from this meristematic tissues or meristematic cells, they got elongated, and these root hairs got formed from some of the epidermal cells. These root hairs, they shrivels or they withers, and the cells in this region, they get differentiated to form different type of tissues such as xylem, phloem and cortex in this root, in this portion of the root. So these are the 5 regions or zones to which we can differentiate a typical root. And obviously you can memorize these regions or zones. These zones are root cap, region of meristematic cells, region or zone of elongation, a region of root hair, and ultimately the region of differentiation, or we can call it the zone of maturation or zone of mature cell. So in the next video, we will be just talking about the different modifications of taproots and adventitious roots. Till then, bye.